This meeting of the Connetquot Board of Education has now been convened. Can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? After the pledge, please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our servicemen and women. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the district clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Oglese is absent. Mr. Amorando.
Present.
Mr. Ferrioli.
Here.
Mr. Imbasciani.
Present.
Mrs. Kennedy. Here. Mrs. Adams.
Present.
Mr. Nucci.
Present.
Mrs. Donnelly.
Present.
Mrs. Manzi.
Present.
Mr. Middleman.
Present.
Mrs. Hutchinson.
Present.
Mr. Budnick.
Present.
Thank you.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the business meeting on October 13th. Motion? Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now we go to... Yes. I would like to make a motion to convene the audit committee. Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. We're just waiting for the presenter. Just 1 second.
Is the agenda good to go up on the screen?
Isn't it on?
No, it's on, it's frozen. Need to get your password.
Frozen?
Somebody needs to log in. Somebody needs to log in. To log in.
No, I am logged in.
Yeah.
Don't you have to do it from that time?
Timed out. It might have timed out.
You mean that one went to sleep? Well, that's going to be fun.
Ta-da. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
I apologize for that. We're going to suspend the audit. Motion. All in favor? We will reconvene the business meeting. Motion? Motion. Second? Aye. All in favor? Aye. Making a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Education from September 22nd.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye.
special meeting. The Eastern Suffolk BOCES Board will be conducting a special election to fill a vacant seat on their board. The vote date is Wednesday, November 18th, 2015. The board needs to discuss whether or not they will participate in the vote process, and if the board does decide to participate, then they will determine that date, time that they'll vote on the candidate for Eastern Suffolk BOCES.
In favor?
Well, you need a consensus to say that you're going to participate in the vote, and you just need to select a time when you will convene to actually conduct the vote.
Well, it can't be until after school, until 4 o'clock. We have to pick a day at 4 o'clock if we choose to do it.
So do we want to be part of this vote?
It has to be done on that date.
18th, right?
Yep.
But we have to have a special
We
meeting.
don't have to. That's the schedule is a little different this year.
Without?
Do without that.
Okay.
Please turn on your mic, please.
You don't have to participate.
No, we do not have to be part of
Okay,
it,
so
so
the
we're gonna,
board needs to tell me.
consensus
and that's
to
the
pass.
consensus.
All right, so that's a,
consensus to pass.
we're going to pass.
Thank you. And the next thing is the NISBA Annual Convention proposed, they just sent in proposed amendments to their resolutions. This is from the Plainview Old Bethpage School
Can you
District.
please use the microphone?
Sorry, the Board of Education needs to support or not support the proposed amendments to the NISBA resolutions number 2, number 10, and number 27 as presented by the Plainview Old Bethpage School District. So you need to instruct the board, needs to instruct Mr. Amarando, who is your delegate, as to whether you agree with these amendments, these proposed amendments made by...
On the board.
Mr. Ferrioli. Oh, Mr. Ferrioli, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Alternate.
The wording in the proposals are basically just wording changes. I don't think that, at least I felt that there was no issues with the amendments. They changed the wording of the 3 of them. They eliminated some wording, they added some wording to just change how it was viewed. But I'm fine with the way they were.
We have consensus on that also. We can support it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a consensus, Greg?
Consensus to vote in favor?
You need a vote.
We need a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes.
Thank you.
So now we'll move to policy. We're going to vote for first reading of this policy. Policy 2382. I have a motion.
Motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes, please.
Okay, as we move into the second reading, you'll notice that 2382, we just went into a first reading. We received edits from our legal counsel that will make 2382 now the original one that we acted upon on September 22nd is now going to be pulled off. So it resolved that the Board of Education remove policy 2382 from the second reading and approve all the other policies presented as enumerated above. So we're looking at the second reading of 2120.1, which is candidates and campaign, 9010, which is equal opportunity, 9620, which is child abuse in an educational setting, and 9580, which is military leaves. This is the second reading, so this will result in their adoption.
Is 2382 is going back to committee?
No, 2382 was the one that we just voted for the first reading, which was the revised from our legal counsel.
We need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
just adopted 9620, Child Abuse in Educational Setting, which is an amended and updated policy. We need to abolish 9135, which is the old policy that was suspected of child abuse by district personnel. So we need to abolish it at this point.
Motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I have a motion? Second, was that a second? All right, any questions? All in favor? Aye. Aye. I'll just wait 1 second, let the people leave. We are having another public participation, everyone. What? I can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Better? Okay.
It's distorted. You sound like a robot.
I am a robot.
That's what it sounds like.
I am really... All right. All right, Schedule 2. Appointments, tenure, salary changes. Would like to make a motion? Oh. All in favor? Aye. All right, we're moving on to recommended action, financial matters, treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to appropriation status report from July 1st through August 31st, 2015.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Okay, number 3, revenue status report from July 1st through August 31st, 2015.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, number 4, overtime report from July 1st through August 31st, 2015. Do I get a second? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. I'm going to make a motion on items 2 through 12. Anyone want to second that?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on to reports. Are there any reports from the Board of Ed committees? Any reports?
Well, our one and only functioning Board of Education committee right now is the Budget Advisory Council, whose applications were due, Mrs. Donnelly, by today. Am I correct?
Yes.
They were due by today. Our first Budget Advisory Council meeting will be on Tuesday, October 27th. I believe it is at 5 a.m. At 5 a.m. Maybe that's going to be a little early. 5 p.m. People who have been selected to be part of that will be notified by email. I'm going to move right on to the Superintendent of Schools. We have our first meetings of our Superintendent's committees coming up soon. We have our task force, which is our Task Force for Excellence, will begin on October 21st at 7:15. Prior to that, on the same day, on October 21st at 5:30, will be our steering committee. And the two committees that will be meeting on October 28th will be the Graduate Profile Committee at 5:30 and the Alternative High School Committee at 5:30 as well on October 28th. All of those will be in central office. They will mostly be meeting on Mondays, the first and third Monday of the month. So if you are part of those committees, I look forward to seeing you there and having you be part of those, the work that we do there. I am delighted to report that we were honored at Washington, D.C. at the White House on Tuesday, October 6th. I was actually invited to present at the White House on a brand new initiative that was put out as part of Homeland Security. It was the Bystander Stop the Bleed, which is something that we take very seriously here in Connetquot schools, and I do have to thank Don Flynn and Mark Delicave for ensuring that we are as safe as we possibly can be. About a year ago when I started, Don came to me and said, you know, there's this thing called the Hartford Consensus, which was put together by a group of experts that looked at all of the different school-wide disasters and decided that there were things that school districts could do to ensure the safety and security of their faculty, staff, and students better than they had in the past. And one of those was involving the community, our school community, in helping to stop any kind of hemorrhagic bleed. So we budgeted for that, and this summer we trained a bunch of our coaches and our security guards, and we'll be rolling out training over the course of the year to other faculty and staff, and hopefully eventually get it to our students to teach them that all you need is a hand to stop someone from bleeding to death. It was one of the highlights, I have to say, probably of my whole life, was being inside the gates at the White House. And if you want, it's still on the website, the Bystander Stop the Bleed initiative, where I spoke about Connetquot and the wonderful things that we do to try to keep our students, staff, community, and faculty safe.
Great job. Okay, moving on to any administrators. Any reports? All right. Any Board of Education reports?
Based on what we talked about at the last meeting, I went to the town. I spoke to the town about some of the complaints from a resident that we might have. And we have an abandoned house in Bohemia and a house next door that might be selling drugs. So I did go to the town, and I worked with the town afterwards, and they said, they finally came over and talked to me, and they said that they would go check. In the meantime, I took a ride down that road, and I pulled into the driveway, and I looked at the back, and everything was still boarded up. And they said if everything's boarded up, there were no people squatting, but they would go down and check and clean it up. Then I also mentioned that there might be drugs next door. No proof. This is told by a community member to us, and it's our fiduciary, it's our responsibility to look into it, even though we have no jurisdiction to leave school property and check homes, and neither does our security. I only saw 3 cars in the driveway at that time. Now, I told them that this is a possibility. I don't know if they're going to get in touch with code enforcement, but you know, I was concerned. We do have elementary kids at the bus stop there. And so they're going to look at it. I don't think they're going to do much of anything other than make sure it's boarded up. And unless they see a violation of many cars there, they're not going to do anything there either. But I do know it's boarded up. So that's the best we can do at this time.
I would just like to make a comment. If anyone out there gets a chance to go to the high school to watch a sporting event, the grounds that we have in the back of that high school, they're beautiful, they're well kept, and some of our teams this fall have a chance to be county champions. So if you get the chance to go watch one of the games, that'd be great. All right, back to public participation.
Mr. Amaranth, I was going to call you Mr. President because I don't know your name.
That's what I'm usually called.
Okay, thank you. I heard the kindergarten playground is in disrepair and that is a major safety issue. My little 5-year-old granddaughter attends kindergarten in Cherokee. And in nursery school, you know, they play and they learn, but in kindergarten, this is real school, and they have to focus. And actually, so when recess time comes, they need to release all that pent-up energy inside of them, and the playground equipment becomes their focus. It needs to be safe and secure, and it's very important to the children. We need to provide a safe and secure playground equipment for our present and future generation of kindergarten children. And I personally appeal to all of you board members, and I'm sure many of you have been parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, relatives, whoever you may be. And I ask you, what would you do if your child was in my position and we as parents were so concerned and didn't know what to do? And I understand the budget and I understand the inflation, I really do, but we really need to fix this problem. And I want you to remember that, please, children are our future, and it takes a village to raise a child, and we really all play a part. And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. President, some of your concerns. First, to say that the district is aware of it. It has been brought to our attention. 2 years ago, there were some pieces of the playground that were removed that were unsafe. I actually happened to be in the situation described. My daughter is a first grader at Cherokee. So she played on the playground last year as a kindergartner. I looked at the playground. I really don't feel it's unsafe. It's old. Could it be upgraded? Sure. We have Mr. John Allen, who's our facilities person, looking into things and trying to find out what we can do to improve the situation. But the safety concerns from 2 years ago, those pieces were removed the previous summer. So you are aware of that. I just want to let you know that that's where we're at.
Well, thank you very much. I just went to their first meeting because I had nothing to do one night. I wanted a cup of coffee, actually. But
Right.
anyway,
But it is on our...
I decided to say a little something. Thank you.
Yes, it is on our list of things to...
Thank you all so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm just looking for an update on freshman awareness. Is that going to happen or not happen? When are we going to know?
The posting for the advisor for the Connetquot Civic Association and Awareness Weekend, the posting closes tomorrow. So as of this point, we have not selected anyone because we're waiting for all the applicants to come in.
So once you select someone, when would parents and the students know if it's happening or not?
As soon as possible after that selection occurs. It will be on the next board agenda for the person who would be selected.
Thank you.
Good evening. One thing I noticed is that the public participation comes after policy adoption, so if the public had any comments or suggestions, it seems like we kind of miss out on that opportunity since they're adopted before we even get a chance to speak. So just something to think about in the future, I guess.
Well, that's why there's a first reading, at the previous meeting. There's always a first reading, then people can comment, and then the second reading is when the adoption comes.
Okay.
So
I guess you gotta
first
be there.
reading, that will be the opportunity for the public, for people to comment.
Okay. Also, in the agenda is dental benefits for a particular employee. What position is that employee, or what level? And I was wondering why it wasn't negotiated with their hiring.
It actually was. It's been in contract with all of the contractual employees that are individual contracts, and there's been none of that benefit has been given to those employees since their contracts began.
So it's an individual contract employee.
These
so
are all individual
administrators?
contracts. Correct.
Okay. Also, I'm drafting up a letter regarding policy on the district interviews and the parent participation on that, so keep an eye out for that, I guess, coming November. Waiting to get some more, trying to clear up all the miscues or parents not knowing about the interviews until later on in the process. So that's coming down. And 1 week from now, is October 20th, which is the Mary Grossman Memorial Blood Drive. I will take any type of blood. No, not me personally. I've been running this for a couple of years now, but with a district of 6,000, we get about 100. That's it. In 2 schools, both at RMS and OBMS. We're running it from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. If anybody is available to donate, I will more than happy take their name, whether it is staff, administrators, or parents and guests. Thank you.
This will be about something different. You mentioned the Budget Advisory Committee. I wanted to check to confirm that a sheet listing attendance had been received by the board that I sent earlier in the day today. It was close to the close of business. It was shared with the clerk and the assistant superintendent for budget on Drive. I'm hopeful that the members will be able to communicate with each other outside of the arranged meeting times. As everyone knows, 5 o'clock meetings are often difficult for everyone to attain. We are more than willing to bring critical mass to the meetings that are scheduled in the announced schedule of meetings. But I'm hopeful that the members of the members of the advisory committee will also be shared with each other, so that we can begin organizing and communicating with each other separately now. And I am hopeful that that sheet was received. I don't know if anyone will acknowledge receipt of the sheet, the memberships, and the notes that were provided in the message by which it was sent.
No, we did not get that.
So I hadn't shared it with you. I could share it with you. I don't know your email address. I had shared it with the district clerk and the assistant superintendent for business, who's giving me the thumbs up, saying that she received it. So. I'm sorry?
What time did you send it? Do you know?
For about 4:30 this afternoon, right before close of business.
They didn't get it today.
Okay, I got a thumbs up. I'm just Sharon, you got the thing. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sharon got it. We're good.
What's that? My name's Rick Cole. I'm a resident. I just have questions. If I ask a question and you all respond, is that part of my 3 minutes? All right, good.
No.
I'm asking, I know there's been discussions in past meetings, and my apologies for not being able to make all the meetings because of my employment, but I know there have been progress made in the opportunity to add positions for some of our boys' sports in the form of assistant coaches and support staff, which I think is pivotal to the success, the training, and the well-being of our student athletes. Having completed in-depth 4 equity reviews, my question is, are we getting it right on the girls' side? I was able to witness yesterday our women's volleyball team play Smithtown West with 4 coaches sitting on the bench. 4. We have a great JV coach and a great varsity coach. I have no complaints about what they do for our girls. Fabulous. I think we're getting it right. I think we're moving in the right direction on the boys' side. But when you look at the top 7 teams in Suffolk County, they all have assistant coaches. Now, we may, as a district, decide that it's not in the best interest to identify that assistant coach for the girls' volleyball team. That's administrative discretion. But I think I would be interested in finding what the outcome of the equity assessment will be. I think we've got to get it right. And listen, I know there's a lot of amazing challenges as administrators and coaches and a board have to meet against. This may not be the top of that priority. I get it. A lot of emotion going on tonight. So I guess I'd like to ask the question, is there an equity review completed, or is that in the process of being done?
It's in the process of being done.
Okay, and what's that timeline?
We should have it by the end of the week.
Okay, and what would be the next action steps after that? Once the review is done, what happens then?
We would meet as a board and discuss how we want to move forward. That would be in public.
Okay, so when we do a review, we're going to talk about participants, right? And it's based on enrollment at an institution. It's not those who are participating in sport.
Correct.
Equity is done based on enrollment and participation opportunities based on Title IX law, right? And we can pick whatever prong of the three we want to make sure that we're in compliance with Title IX. But for me, again, my concern is there's been a lot of discussions about it in the past, and we're making progress. I want to be very clear here. We're doing some great stuff. We're moving in the right direction with some of our great programs. I don't care if the team's winning a county championship or not winning a county championship, but to provide that opportunity. So that will be shared before anything's decided on, correct? Yep. And in fact, I have my information correct. We have added position on the boys' side.
We restored positions that were taken out of the budget 2 years ago, when the JV 9 program that was still remaining for boys, way past when it was remaining for girls. This precedes me.
Yeah, yep.
Those JV 9 programs for the girls had ceased to be in existence a few years back. And then in the 2013-14 school year, the budget was cut for JV 9 program for boys because there weren't that many people on Long Island that had them anymore, school districts on Long Island. When we looked at the fall enrollment for kids that wanted to participate last fall, we noticed that we were going to be cutting a large amount of young men who would have been originally on our JV 9 teams. And the board decided at that point to restore those positions, but put them as assistants in the JV program so that we could hold on to more young men that were going to be cut otherwise.
Right. I think, but when I talk about this evaluation, the fact that we had multiple 6 to 7, what do we call them again, guys? The 9th grade, JV2, or what is it called?
JV9.
JV9. When we had those opportunities, we're already providing opportunities that are not equitable based on enrollment. I get what we're doing. It's all good stuff. I just think we have to take a really big look at the whole picture about, from the beginning to the end, about opportunities that we're providing both the boys and the girls. I've got both, and we've got some great people here, you know. And I don't think there's any malicious intent here. I just think I would love to know what that feedback is, all right? And there's also some good stuff going on in the gym. So if you get a chance, as I did last year.
I did mean that. That was one of the teams I met at the championship.
Cool.
Of
So
course.
you're all welcome.
That's a real volleyball team.
Here's a public invitation. You're invited.
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
Good evening. I just wanted to let the board be aware of a situation going on right in this building. The gymnasium wall has been not functioning since the first day of school. This is week 5. We have classes being held in that gymnasium every day, every period. And I've been told that the part has been approved for purchasing, the part has been purchased, we're waiting for it to be delivered. I get it. We need people to expedite this because it is a safety issue. I took out a little boy the other day, just standing still. He ran into me. I'm bigger than him. He went down because I was watching my class, had my back to the other class, which was participating. It's something that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
You're talking about the wall that cuts it in half, right? Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Definitely will be looking into it. Okay, anyone else? Going once?